Hello, Tauruses. You are my people, and I'm here for you. Let's read for your 2020 February predictions. Here goes. So, pile number 1 or pile number 2? Ooh. So, I'm going to immediately start reading for pile number 1. Here we go. All right. I'm getting feelings already. And perhaps, full disclosure, I am a Taurus sun, and maybe the first reading is my reading for February 2020. So it's going to get personal. I feel compelled to pull another one. And that's funny. Okay, so first thing that pops out is the 5 of Wands. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's a card where many flames are coming together to make one great collective flame. And that is going to represent the ruling energy for you this February, which means that we are going to collaborate more with other people. We're going to be stronger together. We're going to find differences with those in our community as a source of empowerment. And from there, excuse me, don't worry, I'm not contagious. Okay, so we have the Sun card here is the first, the second is the Devil, and then we move into the 7 of Swords inverted. So when I see this progression, the Sun meets the Devil meets the 7 of Swords inverted, I see that it's going to be a really good month to collaborate with other people. And the Sun, of course, has a lot to do with notoriety and pleasant days, and that leaning into the Devil and then becoming the 7 of Swords inverted, not trying to be like stereotypical of what it's like to be a Taurus, but it seems like you might be having a really good time, and you might be overindulging and leaning into some vices that are unhealthy for you. This is definitely my reading. I'm like, I don't know when to quit, you know? I have to keep going. If I like something, I like it times 20. I, love a snack and then I get gout. I can't like temper myself. I'm just like more. And then the 7 of Swords inverted is like, you're just gonna get to a point where, I keep saying 7 of Swords, but it's the 8 of Swords. I don't know why that is. It's weird. You're gonna get into a point where you're encaged in your anxieties. You don't know how to ask for help. You might be spending too much money, and you might be overwhelmed. But you're like, okay, I dug myself into this hole. If I even talk about it, that'll be embarrassing or whatever. Like, you don't want to reach out for help, so that's limiting you. And then we see the 8 of Coins inverted. And this I've drawn as a little shovel, a hand with a shovel. So the way that I'm seeing the shovel going into the ground, it's saying like, get back on that horse. And I'm not, never mind. Okay, get back on the horse that you got knocked off on. Like, wow, my words are just total caca right now. Like, I can't talk. But what I'm trying to say is, it looks like this is going to be a good month for connecting with other people. You might have some kind of success or progress in a different, in whatever department that you're so interested in. As in, like, okay, I'm working on this new project. Wow, people like it. Oh, I got a show for my music and or art or whatever. I'm exhibiting these things that I am proud of, that I've been working on with other people. Now it's time to celebrate. I'm taking it too far. Now I kind of like overdid it and I'm embarrassed. I don't know how to get forward. But it's saying like, just lean back into your work and your career. So as a Taurus sun myself, I think about the stereotypes and like people saying stubborn Taurus, right? So the reality is Tauruses should understand pacing. Like, a good Taurus has a plan. They like see life is finite. Everything they manifest is an expression of their spirit incarnated into a body. And they think over time and space, like, I want to make all this stuff happen. I want to create, they usually have a long-term goal. and they're like, okay, I'm going to get there and I'm going to do it my own way at my own timing, and I'm going to enjoy the ride, because I also have to be existing now, and my spirit is representing itself through the things that I bring around me. So sometimes that means overindulgence, but sometimes that comes from a place of anxiety and overthinking where you're going, like overthinking the weight of the burden you're carrying. You're like a beast of burden, the Taurus. So they want to take the edge off, you know? But the career, and career doesn't necessarily have to mean like your job. It could be your artwork, your passion, like whatever you're really putting your focus on. That is going to be something that you have to get back into to refocus and remember why you're here, instead of getting caught up in smelling the flowers. Why can't I breathe right now? I don't know. Okay, and then we go into the Fool. So I see that once you start grounding yourself by thinking about your big picture goals, your purpose, and your reasons for being here on Earth, you're going to start to feel a different way of taking the pressure off and a different way to be present, because you're like, okay, cool, I have like a long road ahead of me. I'm going to remember that and just feel grounded, instead of being like, wow, I did one thing and I feel really happy. I'm going to celebrate. I overdid it. Now I'm like remembering what my big long-term goals are, and now I'm just going to be in that, and I feel fresh again. So it's a little bit of like almost like a story arc, like you would see in a movie or something. It's, you know, you see your moment of glory, overindulging, and then remembering what really matters, and then having this like resurgence of freshness and purpose. And then we go from there to the Four of Wands inverted. But the way that these lines are matching up, and I'm going to try to hold it up to you the best I can. We see the Fool here in these mountains. Mountains in tarot represent achievement and long-term goals, you know? So we see the mountains here, like starting to climb the mountain, seeing that maybe we've like started ascending. And then that line of the mountain is turning into the pathway into the ideal home. Just the way that the lines are here. I don't know if you can see that, but I feel like I have adult asthma or something. I can't breathe. I don't know what's going on. Whew. All right. Anyway, I see the lines of the mountain coming into the pathway into the home. The home is inverted and it's upside down. So maybe your home itself feels like it has disorder, and we're starting to bring in the ideals of like what would be a thriving space for you to dwell and be nurtured within while you're working on your long-term goals, so that we don't feel like we have to hold ourselves in this like uncomfortable position where we have to carry this weight of like whatever projects we're working on. And then when we make any kind of achievement, we're like, yay, now I get to take some of the pressure off. Oh, I did it too much. So we're gonna like take the scope, everything back, and look big picture what we're trying to do, and just focus on the big picture and feel like we can have a desirable experience on that road. And also putting our homes into order so that they are able to nurture us as we go on that road. And then I pulled an extra card, which was just another 8 of coins. So that I pulled the 8 of coins again, I'm thinking that this is a major focus for you this month, is to focus on what you're doing with your life. It sounds so heavy, but it doesn't have to. I mean, career really means the purpose that we have in the world and the work that we do towards that soul purpose and what we're offering humanity before we keel over. Oh my God, the ambulance is finally coming for my asthma attack I'm having over here. So I guess I should say goodbye now. And if you want to know more about tarot through a series of memoir style rants, I've created a podcast called Neon Cauldron. Check it out. Thank you, and I hope you have a good February 2020. Taurus, group number 2. Here we are. And let's read for you to decide what is your fate for 2020 February. Are you scared? Don't be scared. Yeah, you should definitely be scared, actually. Just kidding. A friend of mine critiqued one of my videos and said that I shouldn't cause alarm by being like, oh shit, like if somebody pulls cards. But I think, you know, sometimes I think it's validating to hear if you're having a hard time and you're getting a card reading. I feel like if I am listening to a reading and someone's just like, oh, like, and then I'm like, I can't attach myself to this because I don't feel like there's any texture or any relatability, but that's me. I'm also a Taurus. So I guess I like a little bit of the nitty gritty, you know? Whew. I like someone to help me feel my feelings, whatever that means. Okay, so here we start off with the Ace of Wands. So I think it's going to start off pretty good. Like you're going to feel a good amount of like get up and go energy beginning of February. And then it's moving into the Two of Coins inverted. So I feel like you're going to feel like money's slipping out of your hands. Money's coming in slowly, but it's also slipping out just as fast. We have the Five of Wands coupled with the Page of Coins. To me, this is saying there might be some new friends like coming into your life, or maybe a new appreciation for the people in your life. We also have the Six of Cups here along with the Five of Swords. So interesting. I think that there might be some turmoil within your friend collective, or maybe even at work. So I'm seeing like a group of people who are working together or connected to each other. There's a new person coming in, and the Six of Cups I'm going to relate to old friends, you know. And then the Five of Swords is like conflict, Five of Swords inverted. So there might be like some new person coming into your world that like rocks the boat a little bit. Either like you have a new friend that you're spending time with, or a new lover or whatever, and other people are like, like, I don't know, I feel like you're abandoning me. People don't usually say that out loud, even to themselves, but I think it's gonna rock the boat. Or you're in a friend group and a new person comes in and you're like, but I'm the one that's ginger spice, and now they're like the second one, like, no. So I think there's gonna be what am I talking about? I don't know if you could relate to this, and we'll see at the end of the month if any of this came up, but I see that there's like a group dynamic where there's a new person that either makes you feel threatened in the group, or you bring in a new person that makes other people in the group feel threatened by. So whatever that means, but we'll keep going and seeing how this is going to unravel for you. We got the Wheel of Fortune. One of my friends told me every great story starts when a stranger comes to town. I'm kind of getting this vibe here. And also with the Knight of Wands next to the sword, I feel like there's going to be this like fiery new bad boy on the block. Not necessarily having to be a man or male, but yeah, like some new energy coming in that's going to really like shake things up. And then we have the Hanged Man along with the Knight of Wands, and then underneath that we have the Four of Coins and the Four of Swords. So something about this person, this almost reminds me of like a TV show from the late 80s, early 90s. It was like they had all these family sitcom hilarious shows that they would be like, Friday night, like this family funny show, and it was, you know, not that funny. But there was sometimes there'd be like a radical character that had like a motorcycle jacket or something, and everyone would be like, what? Like, you're so cool. And then they would do some questionable stuff, and then it would remind everyone of what their true values are. I'm seeing something like that for you. I feel like there's a new energy that comes in and kind of makes you feel like you have stuck old energy. And it makes you feel like, yeah, I've been tired for a long time. But what we see ultimately is like the drama, comedy, TV show I was just mentioning, they're going to rock the boat a bit, and they're going to change things a bit, but you're going to remember what's really important to you. With the Four of Swords, it's like really keeping your boundaries, keeping your goals, and making sure that you have good boundaries. The Four of Pentacles is a very boring card. It's about just duty, like taking care of business, making sure you're paying your bills, making sure you're going to work, making sure you're just doing all the basic things and like handling your stuff, because this energy that's coming in might make you kind of question like certain things about yourself, because they have such a radical and passionate way of expressing or living, and you're kind of maybe comparing and contrasting how you are in this world and relative to them. But at the end of the month, I think you're going to be like, okay, I'm good. Actually, I'm going to just keep doing the same old stuff. Like, I'm not a stuck old fuddy-duddy, and if I am, it works for me. So Taurus, you're going to have an opportunity to feel insecure or inspired or something, and then like a good Taurus, you're just going to go back to exactly where you started by the end of the month. Like, it'll ruffle your feathers, and then you're like, okay, I still know what matters to me. So that's your little prediction for February 2020, Taurus. And if you like your reading and you want to get in touch with me about another reading, you can follow me on Instagram at my name, Elise Osborne. Or you can also, if you're curious, listen to my podcast, Neon Cauldron, and it's on Spotify, Instagram what? It's on Spotify and iTunes and all different places that you can go to find such things like a podcast. All right, that has been your reading. Thank you for listening. Bye. I'm so awkward. I don't know what's happening.